everyone. Happy Friday and welcome to another episode of the John and Wendy Show. Apologies for the little bit of a late start, technical difficulties with my camera, so blame me completely. You know, technology, no matter how much you pay for it, still can get a little wonky and touchy for sure, but I got it squared away. We're good to go. I am the outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by my co-host, the better half here, Wendy Lee. How are you, Wendy?
I'm doing so good. You know, it's Friday. We got a bunch of new stuff out to play with or to watch. We've got the Vox Machina series that's now hit on Prime Video. We've got Pokemon Legends Arceus out. I probably stayed up a little too late just exploring last night. I was like, it was 2 a.m. and I thought, I need to go to bed. Why am I still up playing this video game?
I know this day. I know this feeling, right?
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I also tried to get my hands on a PS5, but I failed because I had stuff to do in the morning, so I couldn't go, but I went as soon as I was able to. And I walked in, she's like, yeah, well, unfortunately, we sold out like 10 minutes within the store opening. They got exactly 11 PS5s, and they had exactly 11 people lined up.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, well, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing I didn't come. Those 11 people can, you know, because I don't want, what if I was the 12th?
Right. And you're like, we ran out. We're out. You're the 12th person. We had 11 to sell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and there's nothing. And she says that too. So she's like, "I'm so glad." The way she said it, she said, "I'm so glad that there wasn't a 12th person because people aren't understanding." And I told her, I said, you know, it's kind of sad that people can only see so far down their own personal struggles and not realize that these people don't get paid enough to dictate how many what is it called, how many PS5s that they would essentially be shipped. Like she said, they didn't even know that it was coming until they got it.
Wow. It's that kind of a situation. Sorry, let me get myself a little bit closer. It's that kind of a situation. I'm even more amazed that I was able to buy one when I was able to buy one back in 2020?
2020. I told Dustin, I said, Rocha's so lucky. He didn't even really try that hard. He just happened into it, which is the best.
It was the scenario. First wave. It was sold out the first wave. And I was like, And then just before I went to bed at 1 a.m, just randomly went on the Best Buy website and there was one available. And I literally was like this. Is this real? Is this real? Okay, I'll order it. And sure enough, there it was. So yeah, just kind of crazy to see that. And even Leslie Jones tweeted about it the other day, how she can't get a PS5. Look, you're Leslie Jones. How can you not get a PS5? I've got to know why. So
I figured if she wanted one with like customized skin, whatever the heck, they'll be like, okay, here you go with a basket full of games and controllers and swag.
She's got a big following. Why wouldn't you send her one?
She can't even get one. That's crazy.
It's so bad. Well, anyway, we're gonna talk about all kinds of things here today for sure with all of you. And thanks so much for joining us live on Twitch. You know, we've had some fun here doing this live on Twitch. We've got great new graphics. As you can see there. And, you know, later on, we put it up on the YouTube channel for the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel for you all to enjoy for sure. So please send in your questions as we go along. We got Streamlabs open, the bits. You want to send any bits? You want to do any kind of stuff like that? We're available for all of it for sure. Yeah, as Wendy's pointing out, Streamlabs right above our heads on the John and Wendy. So one more big shout out to Tushka for creating the graphics that he's created for the show and will be creating for the Outlaw Nation overall. Tushka and I are working together for the overall look of the Outlaw Nation as it goes into 2022. So some more changes coming to the look of all the shows here over the next couple of months for sure. But let's jump into our first story here as we go along. Wendy, before we get into our bigger stories, this is one more like kind of an appetizer story. And I read this story a couple of days ago and I sent it to Wendy. I said, I'd like to include it in the rundown. I think we should talk about it. She was like, heck yes, let's do this. I know we talk about K-pop corner all the time, but there are other pop artists as well that we can talk about. And the one story I want to talk about here is about Adele. This kind of struck me as a really interesting thing. And, you know, we talk about all kinds of crazy subjects and all kinds of variety of subjects here on the show, Wendy. But Adele here has reportedly loaded out all her sets for this Caesar's Palace. For the residency. She was going to have this 3-month residency at Caesar's Palace. And she was supposed to go from, like a couple of days ago to go for 3 months. She was literally a day or two away from starting the residency. And then she canceled it. And she broadcast or recorded a teary video telling her fans that I'm sorry, I can't do it. And according to the Las Vegas Review Journal, Adele was, quote, unhappy with the multi-million-dollar set and said, though, and it goes on to say those pieces constructed by the live production company Solotech were being hauled out of the Coliseum this past Monday. This is a clear indication that work on the show at the theater had stopped. The residency was supposed to wrap up April 16th, right after tax day, and now it's not happening. And apparently there were issues between her and the person who was in charge of the production design, Esmeralda Devlin. They had worked together way back in 2016 for Adele's tour, and Esmeralda Devlin is apparently one of these people that is sought after people to coordinate and create sets for these massive shows that are going on nowadays for these pop artists. If you've seen Katy Perry's residency, her play residency there in Vegas, they started dropping videos a few days ago. It's amazing the kind of scope that goes into creating these shows. But apparently they butted heads, and one of the designers may have been dismissed from the production. And there's been no refunds that are issued because they think at some point down the road, Adele is going to come back. Keith Urban now slides in to take some of her dates earlier than expected. So fascinating stuff here. Wendy, what is your thought on this? She was about to do a 3-month residency, backs out a day or two before it starts, has trouble with her production designer, and now fans are left holding the bill with their tickets for this whole situation, and multi-million-dollar sets are loaded out.
Yeah, I am. Well, first of all, I feel bad for the fans because they must have been so excited to go and watch Adele. This is Adele we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Perform at her residency. And remember, once upon a time, people felt residencies were kind of taboo, almost like, oh, your career is over, you're taking residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of the thing to do. You know, you got a permanent venue.
Yeah.
Got a permanent place. You don't have to do the harder. I think touring is hard. You know, you're going from city to city. If you're doing just the US tour, if you're doing the world tour, then that's a lot because you have a lot. Your whole body is an instrument when you're, a performer. So with Adele, I'm surprised the decision wasn't made earlier. So that means that they were maybe trying to hash it out up until the day she publicly canceled it. It can't be easy for her to cancel it either, to have to face all of those people who willingly gave you their hard-earned money to be like, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm curious as to exactly what was it about the set that she was unhappy with, because I feel like she's the kind of artist that would at least be a part of the conversation to look at the set, to say, strike this, I don't like this, I love this, more of this, less of that. Like almost all artists I know, this is the stage you're going to essentially live on for the next few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they want it to be, but a multi-million-dollar set, that's expensive.
Yeah. That's a lot.
And it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Everything is big and grand in Vegas. So I'm curious if we're going to find out more about it. And good on Keith Urban to just swoop in and be like, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure Keith
take
doesn't
it.
have moving sets and all kinds of stuff he's putting in his show. Keith's just fine on a stool with his guitar. It's more than enough for what he needs to do. But yeah, but according to this Las Vegas Review Journal, the production line for the show was supposed to have a 10,000-gallon lake on stage, and she was supposed to come out of the lake and walk on water. And apparently that was an issue for her. She didn't 100% like it. Also, here's some early signs that there was an issue with this. They supposedly she was supposed to start out with singing Skyfall with 100-person choir, but when they had auditions, only 60 people showed up for the audition, and so they just hired everybody. Nobody really had to audition because they needed 100 and only 60 showed up.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I do too.
60? I don't know about that.
Right. That's what they're saying. And that she was supposed to be airborne in all of this. And she apparently balked at all of this and just didn't enjoy what they were going to do here. And apparently 35 union workers are involved here. They had maybe 6 people a day testing positive who had to leave. And Adele even said that she was absolutely destroyed by the delivery delays and COVID. Half my crew, half my team are down with COVID. They still are during her message. So, this was all of this going forward. And apparently she won't be able to get back in there until July if she was to come back and kind of honor those tickets. So I just found it to be fascinating, to
Yikes.
be
That is
honest with you.
fascinating. I bet you that's an interesting piece of information that you just
Hmm.
kind of read from the article is
Yeah,
that there were, not just workers getting sick and then
yeah,
having to deal with, coming in contact with COVID, but the delivery, because we all
yeah,
know about the supply chain.
right.
Everything's kind of a mess right now. Some stores are again like running low on stock or just no stock at
Yeah,
all. Like I'm having a hard time finding certain things that I haven't had trouble finding for about a year, and it
yeah,
reminds me a little bit of not as bad, and so knock on wood, but not as bad as 2020. But maybe she decided to say, I can't do this
yeah,
because there could be a safety issue if certain pieces weren't able to arrive. So they said, okay, we'll do this instead. And it doesn't have the overall feel and look
yeah,
that was initially designed. And who knows how expensive these tickets are,
yeah.
that like the fans are going to in and expecting the Adele show. And it doesn't matter if it's not her job to design the stage, that she has a production designer.
Right,
Her name is on the show, her face is on the ticket. So guess what? The blame comes down to her
right, right.
because that's all they see.
Mhm.
So I think not an easy decision, but I have to respect the balls that she has to be like, I can't do this. And I imagine they will hash it out. And come summer, when the weather heats up, usually viruses, the flu, the corona, the
Mhm,
cold, and
mhm.
all that stuff tends to be less severe in the summertime.
Yeah,
So
right.
hopefully the supply chain will have caught up by then, and maybe we'll have plateaued or have very low cases,
Yeah,
just kind of like we saw last year. And then she can resume her residency and
yeah.
honor those tickets. Otherwise, it's a lot of refunds.
It's a lot of refunds. And, Wendy, you and I have both been in a situation where, like, I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna do it. And then, like, you sometimes you have to go, but that occasional moment where you're like, "You know what? I'm not going. I don't care what it costs. I don't care how many people are mad. I'm not comfortable doing it, and I'm not gonna do it." And so imagine, multiplying that by 10,000,000 and just imagine the responsibility. So you, understand why she was so emotional and pulling out of it, but clearly, from what they're reporting here, there must have been a lot of issues behind the scenes. And then eventually she was like, I'm not going to do it because it's better to just take the hit now. And maybe
Mm,
her PR team told her that better to take the hit now than to put on a terrible show that people are going to make fun of for the next 3 months. And you feel horrible doing it. We just got out of Britney Spears getting out of her having her dad in charge of her with that
yeah.
conservatorship, and she was doing all those Vegas shows and was only performing so that everybody else could get paid on her crew and on her team, but she
Yeah.
hated doing it. So you can't imagine Adele, who's such a fiercely
Yeah.
independent woman, being shoved into a thing she didn't want to do for 3 months. It wouldn't happen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, forget it. I'm done.
Not gonna
Walk
do it.
away from this.
Not gonna do it. Anyway. I love her Cockney accent. All right, let's move on. What's our next thing here, Wendy? We got to talk about.
I guess we're gonna talk. I was gonna do a quippy quote from Mortal Kombat. It was gonna fall flat because it wasn't gonna be a good transition, so I opted out of that. But believe it or not, New Line is moving forward with another Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god. Okay.
So this is really interesting because this is not a piece of news that I thought I would see, but it
Yeah.
looks like the studio has hired Jeremy Slater to write Mortal Kombat 2, who is apparently also writing Moon Knight.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, because there were things that I did enjoy
Mhm.
with Mortal Kombat.
Sure.
Scorpion,
Sure.
the first 7 minutes was actually really great. I wish the rest of the movie matched a lot of that,
Right.
and I think they tried really hard with the costume to make it look good in live action, functional, but still gives the fans, like, the feel of they were playing the video game. But
Yeah.
there's just, it just got it snowballed into something where I was like, it's not working for me anymore, I don't know." So it looks like now, they are playing with the idea of having, I mean, they've hired a writer.
Yeah.
So it looks like it could go forward. We all know this is based on the very popular video game. What were your thoughts, just curious, of Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, as I said, before on other shows, it's a fascinating journey for me because it was the last thing I did before they let me go at Collider. Got to go
Mm,
to that
that's right.
set visit, remember, and be down in Australia. And so I was kind of championing this thing. I thought for sure from everything I'd experienced that they were going to come back with this awesome movie. And it did not satisfy a lot of people. I mean, how do you have a Mortal Kombat without an actual Mortal Kombat tournament? It makes no sense. You know, someone I can't forget who, I can't remember who tweeted. They said, "I just saw Shang-Chi and Mortal Kombat. Who knew that I would be upset that it was that who knew that Shang-Chi would be the one with the actual tournament in it? I thought I wasn't going to enjoy Shang-Chi, and that actually had a tournament in it." So there's the difference in those approaches. But that being said, look, we've had 40 Predator films, 40 Terminator films, 40 Alien films. So it's not a bad idea to take another shot at this thing, see if you can learn the lessons from the first movie. But I think if you come back for a sequel and mess it up even more, or don't understand how you got to see a tournament,
Yep.
you got to see these characters, you know, really cast these characters well. Don't cast a character like Makad Brooks, cut off his arms, and then have him disappear for an hour and a half of the movie. It makes no sense with that approach. So there's a lot here that maybe they saw that they could learn from the first Mortal Kombat. I think bringing in the guy who wrote Moon Knight, and so far we don't know. There's been no early
this is true.
opinions or reviews of Moon Knight, so we don't know if this guy's a really good writer or not, but hopefully he is. And maybe they hired him because he had a unique approach, a different approach that could work for bringing back for a sequel. Because as Wendy says, there were a lot of, not a lot, but there were a few things certainly in the Mortal Kombat movie that if they find a way to connect those storylines or those I don't know, those events into a sequel, it actually could be really interesting.
Yeah. I really did feel like they had something. I was actually kind of curious about Louis Tan's character, because it's a brand new character, not in the game, completely created solely for the movie. And I thought, this could be the connective tissue of them being able to bridge it into something, yes, that rooted in the game, but it would allow them to walk through a door that builds something, new. And so no one can ever go back and be like, that's not the source material. Be like, well, you're right, because it's brand new, and because of this character, we can create it. And I wanted to see them go down that route. But as I watched the movie, I was like, man, I don't think they're gonna get a sequel. So listen to this though. According to the Deadline, Louis Tan, Jessica McNamee is how you say her last name.
Oh, McNamee, yeah.
Oh, McNamee, yes. Josh Lawson, Joe Taslim, Makad Brook, Ludi Lin, Tadanobu Asano, and Chin Han are headed the cast. So those are, I think, confirmed as of now, or at least, in the conversation, and no other deals for the sequel are locked at this point.
Interesting. Okay.
So, I mean, if Joe Taslim is in it, I will watch it.
Yeah, Joe Taslim, of course. But maybe a couple of the other.
You watch Warrior?
Yeah, I haven't watched Warrior. I know. I gotta jump on.
Once you start, you can't stop. And I know you. This is like so your type of.
Yeah,
it's 100% your show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we just finished binge watching 4 seasons of Search Party, so it's like once we find the thing we like,
a little break. Yeah,
I need a little bit of break. Right now, we're watching old episodes of Law and Order, just to kind of wash the brain out a little bit before I jump. But I did start After Party last night. The After Party, which is a crap ton of fun. We'll get to that later. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm working through myself right now. And then, of course, Peacemaker, which is a lot of fun. But
yes,
Warrior, I got to start it. You're right.
Yes,
You're absolutely
it's on HBO Max. I think all 2 seasons.
Yeah,
both seasons are there, and they're believe it or not, you think so dramatic, like these shows, it's a bit heavy. Like, no, the martial arts in it is so good. If you're a fan of anything Bruce Lee does, you are gonna, like, within 5 minutes, you're gonna be you'll be up until 4 a.m. the next day watching it. That's what happened to me. I was like, I'm gonna watch one episode. If I make it through, it's long, it's fine. And then 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm still like,
next episode.
Next episode. Come on, Assam. Andrew Koji.
All right, we're going to move on to the next subject here. And ladies and gentlemen, please send in those Streamlabs, send in the bits, send in some support for us here as we go along. Please feel free to do so. You see the address as Wendy's pointing to it there. And also, you all know how to send in bits if you're on Twitch, for God's sake. Let's do it. All right, Wendy, where are we off to next?
Let's talk a little spoiler for episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. And can I just say, when I was writing our show notes, I wrote episode 5 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, well.
And I was like, backspace. The Book of Boba Fett. I didn't mean to. It's just that Boba Fett wasn't exactly in this episode. He wasn't in it. But you know what? I don't mind it. People are saying, oh, Din Djarin are hijacking is hijacking, his
Yeah.
show. It's like, let's not forget Boba Fett showed up in several episodes of season 2 and was
Yeah.
a major conversation point.
Yeah.
And that's all everybody focused on. I mean, yes, Din Djarin was also still in the episode with him,
Yeah.
but I felt like the show, them, first of all, having met, both of them being the Mandalorian, even though, one follows this is the way and the other one has his own way
Mhm.
of doing things, I felt like we needed to kind of get caught up with what Din was doing, and
Yeah.
it helps set up, because all the shows are going to be connected anyways, because it's the
Mhm.
Star Wars universe. It helps set up so they don't have to spend the first 2 episodes telling us what Din was up to. Like, we just
Yeah.
took care of it. And then there, he's got the thing for Grogu. It's cute. It's a little satchel is shaped like his face. We're gonna go see him maybe in the next episode, and then it's gonna be just balls to the walls for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I came for a Boba Fett episode, the Mandalorian episode broke out, so I totally get people's feelings about it. I think this kind of backfired on them because a lot of people are saying, "See, this is why the Mandalorian is better." All the people who have been liking Boba Fett this year,
Mhm,
or
mhm.
this season rather, now have even more ammunition in this argument, in this fight. Whatever your issues are with Boba Fett, don't come for Tamora Morrison or Ming-Na Wen, who I think are doing
Yeah.
or Jennifer Beals, who are doing great
Mhm.
work in this series. So, but this was such an unusual episode, Wendy. This happens maybe in the second or third season of a show where the main lead isn't in the episode at all, and it's about other characters. That happens after you establish everything for a little while, so you can take a break. But this happening in the first season in the 5th episode was really shocking, and it just made us like fall back in love with the Mandalorian again. I mean, the stuff with the armor, the stuff with Paz Vizsla, and the fight for the dark saber was so incredible. Then seeing that little moment where he's holding the little pack that looks like the young Grogu or the
So
little
cute.
baby, just so, yeah, it's so great. And I love and I loved that we got a little bit of the Phantom Menace stuff with the Starfighter, the N1 Starfighter, and Naboo, and all of that, Beggar's Canyon, all of that. Seeing it all come back was certainly a lot of fun. And then boom, right at the end, having that cherry on top of the cake where it's Fennec Shan waiting for him, offering him, saying it's on the house because of everything Boba Fett did. I just got to go see about a baby Yoda. And so we'll see if we go to that or if that whole journey is season 3. And then he comes back and has the
Oh,
fight, because I don't expect to see baby Grogu next episode. If that happens, I think there's a danger where you go, well, what was the point of this? Is it the Book of Boba Fett?
right.
Unless he's saving Grogu for Grogu to be a part of the fight against the Pike Syndicate as a Force user, then that's a whole nother ball game.
But
Then
how
we're
much
talking about something
time
else.
how much time do you think has passed since
I don't
Grogu left with Luke? Because
I
if
don't
he's still like baby Grogu, then he's gonna be not great in a fight with the Pikes.
It's a great point. How long
Not
has he?
yet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And clearly he's looking for him. So how long has he been looking for him? It's a good question. And I really enjoyed even more the stuff with Bo Katan, the conversation about Bo Katan, and like kind of laying the groundwork for a lot of people like, hey, this is who Bo Katan is. And then you see the separation between the sect that hid out and was able to survive, and the armorer's anger at Bo Katan, saying she's a cautionary tale about how to rule and how to lead. So a lot of things, they use this episode almost to set up a lot of things that we're going to see in season 3 of The Mandalorian, but also to kind of reinforce the greatness of The Mandalorian and get you back into remembering him, so that when he shows up in this battle, you'll understand why he kicks ass. I mean, and seeing him use the dark saber, holy Mary, Mother
Wow.
of God,
I
right?
like that they explained what it's like for a non-force
Mhm.
user to wield a dark saber,
Yeah,
because really, we watch Moff Gideon do it and he does it with ease, but again,
mhm.
this is Moff Gideon. And
Right.
then with Sabine, who have also wielded before, she, if you remember in Rebels, Kanan trained
Yeah,
her
right.
and helped her out with that. So I like the lore of the dark saber, because it's got to come into play for the Mandalorian the
Yeah,
next season, because
yeah,
it's so important to their lore. Like, are we going to go back to Mandalore? I don't know.
right.
Um, but next episode is going to be interesting because it's
Mhm.
it's Dave Filoni's episode.
Yes, good
So
point.
who we seeing? We seeing Bo-Katan. We seeing
Right.
Ahsoka and Sabine. We seeing Cad Bane.
Point,
What?
Cad Bane, yeah.
I just don't need, as much as I enjoyed the last episode so much, I don't need another solely The Mandalorian
It
episode on
can't.
the Book of Boba Fett show.
There's only 2 episodes left, Wendy. It
Yeah.
can't be just all Mandalorian again for another
There's no
episode.
way. Then why did you call it the Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, exactly.
It's his story, and there's people speculating that we're not going to see him fight the Pikes until the next
The finale.
the next
Oh,
no,
next
like
season.
yeah, and I was like, I don't even know if we're guaranteed another season. Well, I don't want it dragged out that long.
Yeah, no doubt. And any season that starts off with a villain or presents a villain and doesn't give you like a final fight with the villain it doesn't mean that you win or you beat them. It just means that you have to have the fight. Whatever the result of the fight is, the result of the fight. Because I remember the first season of The Killing, that's what angered a lot of people, was that they didn't find the person who did it by the end of the first season. And people were like, fuck you, I'm not coming back for a second season. And it was a battle against diminishing ratings over the next 3 seasons before they finally canceled it. It was such a colossal mistake to make with The Killing that I was surprised by that decision. So I hope every TV show has learned the lesson from there. So if he doesn't fight the Pikes, then what was the hell was this all about? Because that'll make people even more angry about the season.
Really. And there is one specific, it's not a common, it's just some people are saying that like more attention is being paid to, Din Djarin because Filoni and Favreau created the character, so they're self-serving this character more even in another show. And I was like, you forget that these two are, especially Filoni, is like is the biggest Star Wars fan ever. I am sure he grew up loving Boba Fett, as many of us do. I don't think that he's kind of like, man, Boba Fett, my Mandalorians, but I do not think he, as a Star Wars fan, would treat it that way. I believe that this was purely a great episode for all of us to enjoy and a pure setup for the next 2 episodes. Like he's gathering his army. Maybe he goes on the mission and he'll come back. We don't need to see Grogu. I mean, would I like to see Grogu? Yes, but we don't need to see Grogu. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. But also, if we're gonna go, let's see Luke as well.
Oh my God. I know. Who was it? Someone was speculating that Luke. Oh, and on the Hollywood Critics Association after show that we were doing the other day, I think it was Maggie Lovett speculated that we might see Luke. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see Luke, because then you're really going way out here in this. And you might as well now we're just going to do a Patton Oswalt. I think we'll get Han Solo, Luke, Leia, we'll get Sabine, we'll get Ezra, we'll get Harrison Dula, we'll get Grogu, we'll get the Mandalorian. Darth Maul must be, or Kira rather, must be roaming around somewhere. So it just starts to become like it's a little too much. I get that he has to build an army, but you can't bring everybody back into this thing, can you? No. Lando, come on.
Can you imagine?
You got Chrysanthemum, for God's sakes. You got Black Chrysanthemum. You got the Mandalorian. You got you and Fennec Shan. That should be enough.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, and your little mod gang as well.
The mods. Yeah. There's like what, four of them?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. So they have Boba, they have Fennec, the 2 Gamorrean guards.
Yeah.
They'll get Mando. I'm assuming they'll get Mando. They have Chrysanthemum, and they have the 4. So that's 10 against the Pikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
exactly.
know. Fennec did say it was the first wave, so we'll see. It does feel like a small army, but who knows? Who knows what else? What other strings they'll pull?
He took a bunch of Tusken Raiders and was able to take out that train and take out some Pikes. So
that's true.
Where's the other Tusken Raider tribes?
Other tribes
hear about this and get involved.
They're like traveling on the Bantha right now, slowly through the desert. Like, we're coming. The Jawas could help.
Jawa, absolutely. After
Amy
Sedaris. So we didn't even talk about Peli Motto. What a great thing to have her in this, and talking about dating a Jawa, swiping right on a Jawa on Tinder. It was Harry. Who knew she spoke Jawa? That was pretty awesome.
That was great. That was one of my favorite moments. I was like, the heck? Yeah. Amazing.
Momoa says, I know most people are assuming Grogu, but could paying a visit to a little friend mean visiting Kuil's grave, since it's right there on Tatooine? Seems like Boba needs help right now, and for Mando to go all the way off world looking for Luke seems like a big detour. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So
I like that. Very observant.
That might be possible.
Yeah,
that might be possible.
So I guess with that said, we will find out next
Yeah,
Wednesday.
we will. We will. Let's move forward. What do we got?
Yes. Let's talk about the final trailer for Uncharted.
Oh,
Did you get a chance to see this full action
I
packed?
did. I did. And let me tell you something. Sometimes you do trailer reactions and they work out. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you do trailer reactions and they don't work out. And my final trailer reaction for Uncharted hasn't even broken 500 views. So clearly,
What? Sorry,
people
that
have
was
seen,
loud. Oh wait, really?
yeah, people have seen what they need to see, I think, from this trailer or from this promotional campaign. And we're only like 18 days away or 19 days away from it finally coming out into theaters for people to see. So, so I think I liked the final trailer. We got a little more with Antonio Banderas.
Mm,
The idea of his brother is coming really into focus as a motivating factor here. And those ships, that finale between the two ships in the air, which I assume is the finale of the movie, is going to be fantastic. So
yeah.
it did its job. I still don't buy the chemistry between him and Mark Wahlberg. I'm still having a tough time with certain moments where they're trying to be cute or funny that feel forced and not organic. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna get, but certainly a lot of fun action set pieces in this trailer.
Yeah. I feel very similar to your thoughts. I
Mm.
initially when I heard, "Oh my gosh, they're doing an Uncharted movie. How cool. Who are they going to get to play?" Tom Holland. Okay. I really like him as an actor. I think he's
Oh yeah.
so talented
Yeah.
and I think, a huge action film like this with him, looking as young as he does. I forget how old he is cuz he looks so young to me. Just
Yeah.
he'll probably be babyface for a really long time, regardless of like how old he gets, and he'll hit like 80 and then he'll like 80 out.
Yeah.
He'll just like all of a sudden age. You're like, who's that?
It'll
Um,
come. Yeah.
but to me, it's just they dress him like Nathan Drake. He's
Mhm.
got all the pieces, the necklace, he's got the moves, all the action
Yeah.
scenes, and they look fantastic. But there's such a disconnect for me that when I see him, I can't trick my brain into thinking this is young Nathan. I can't do
Mm.
it. I just see
Interesting.
Tom. So it's
Okay.
not connecting for me. Like if this was any other movie not called Uncharted,
Yeah.
even if it's just like a tomb raiding, treasure hunting movie, sold. I think the action is going to be fantastic. I think he said in a interview somewhere that the sequences, like one of the sequences is the hardest that he's done in his career so far.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
man's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, he's done a lot of crazy stuff already.
Yeah. Well,
So
certainly that cargo scene was insane.
oh
Like you say. Yeah.
god, yeah. It's crazy. So, I don't know, like, am I interested in seeing it? Yes, but am I fully, as a fan and kind of seeing it through their eyes, how this game is going to be brought into live actions? Right now, I'm still not seeing it, despite
Sure.
the the great talent that they have hired,
Yeah.
for the cast.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And we'll see. That comes out February 18th, and the tickets are on sale this Sunday. So if you are one of those people that wants to see this film and get into that theater and get a good seat, well, get ready on Sunday to buy your tickets because
Mhm.
that's when it becomes available. All right, Wendy, what are we off to next?
We got some Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 news.
Ooh,
James Gunn has
yes.
confirmed that GOTG Volume 3 is going to be the last time we see this team, this lineup, in the MCU. So this is in a Deadlines article in the podcast, actually, Hero Nation podcast, that he revealed that he's working on giving fans closure as this superhero, galactic team meets their final adventure, which is so hard for me to believe
Mhm.
that like the trilogy and I get it, they this is 3 movies, but I can't see myself saying goodbye to these characters.
Yeah,
I
right.
feel like they're an important part to the rest of the MCU and they're still kind of newer. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? When they came in, they weren't one of the first ones.
yeah,
So there's going to be a lot of, I think, loose ends to tie up as far as like Gamora goes too.
yeah.
I'm curious about how they're gonna do that. So let's see. There was a part that I highlighted.
Okay.
So he revealed that the upcoming threequel will also say farewell to the current iteration of the superhero team. So that's an important wording right there.
Yeah,
The current iteration
right.
of the super team, but he gave no details as to what that actually means. So to me, it makes me think we already got a sneak peek at the multiverse. It's been
Mhm.
mentioned. Doctor Strange 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
So perhaps the current iteration is going to be, of this Earth or of this timeline, and then the whatever iteration, if they choose to give us another iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy, or however they play it out,
Yeah.
maybe the timeline, maybe the multiverse will play into it, or some of them do decide, hey, this was fun. I'm gonna like them as characters. Time
Right.
for them to walk away and live on their life however they choose after Thanos.
Yeah.
And then they bring in, the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Asgardians.
Yeah, that's a possibility, right? And the other part of this thing is, remember in the second movie, we were introduced to the original team of Guardians, which had Michelle Yeoh and Sylvester Stallone and Michael Rosenbaum as that crystal creature, Miley Cyrus's voice, and other people were involved, Ving Rhames. So there was a whole nother group of the Guardians of the Galaxy that were the original Guardians of the Galaxy. So just because this version of the team might not fully survive at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 does not mean there's not going to be some members of the team that are still part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And certainly having Thor be a part of this, how much is Thor going to be responsible for breaking this team up or for what happens here? And a lot of people are speculating that this teases one of them dying. And we already had Gamora, in essence, die in Infinity War. And so this other Gamora is here. What's her role to play in all of this? So she may decide that she doesn't want to stay on the team. She may not have feelings for this Peter Quill at all, this Gamora, and so may go off on her own thing. Plus, Nebula's been through hell and back a few times.
I think she's done.
Yeah, so maybe Nebula's
I think
done.
she needs a vacation.
Right. Plus, Drax, he's got to do something. He doesn't have a wife anymore than the kid. He's got his revenge. Now, what does Drax do now? So it seems like everybody here is at a bit of a crossroads. Mantis doesn't have ego anymore. So where does she go? Where does she fit? Rocket and Groot are going to do their thing, but so there's a lot of moving pieces to this, and it doesn't surprise me that he's saying this is the end. And maybe this is also his way of saying, I did this trilogy. This is my trilogy. And so going forward, whoever does it next, they won't have the same crew together as I have in terms of the actors and the characters. So, yeah, so we shall see. But the fact that he's saying, I think it's a different movie than people are expecting. It's going to be darker. That is really a curious thing to say.
Bring your tissue boxes, I guess. Don't wear mascara if you wear mascara.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, shout out to James Gunn, who's killing it right now with Peacemaker. And, people liked Suicide Squad for the most part, but Peacemaker is incredible. If you're not watching it, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be. Episode 5 just dropped earlier this week. It's so good. So seeing him kind of going back to this thing that he created, and we'll see if the third film can kick a little ass, because sometimes the third film in the trilogy doesn't do so well. So we'll see. All right, where are we? Did I kill Rocket? Well,
don't you touch a hair on that baby angel. You leave him alone and let him be.
Yeah,
do whatever he wants. He could take over. Be the captain.
Mumra sent us 50 bits, and he says,
thank you,
Mumra. How cool would it be if Drake's mysterious missing brother could be Nathan Fillion? So that's in the Uncharted film. That's a possibility, because a lot of people felt like Nathan Fillion should have been Drake in the film version of it years ago. So would be fascinating to see Nathan Fillion showing up to be his brother. So yeah, I'm down with that. Why not?
That's interesting. A lot of people said they wanted to see Nathan Fillion as Drake.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
People love.
He even made that fan film.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
I remember the Green Lantern fan film with him. People wanted him to be Green Lantern. It's crazy. Crazy how much people love Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, he's great.
All right. Let's move on to the next section of the show, Wendy. We like to call this thing. Whoa, what's trending?
Yeah.
Tushka, you got to work on that video. Give us something here. All right.
That was great. I love it. It's different sound every time.
Oh man. All right, we're into some K-pop here. What do we got with?
Yeah, it's not technically K-pop, it's K-content.
Okay.
Because there's not too much new stuff dropping that I caught, other than just performance that I'm just eating up, but things we've talked about on the show before. But I did want to talk about a specific I would call her a celebrity at this point. Her name is Gia Song, and she appeared as one of the contestants on the Netflix show Singles Infernal, where various men and women are brought to this like deserted island, and it's sort of a dating show. You find your match, but it doesn't have kind of like the ickiness that we normally would like. There's no like crazy weird backstabbing stuff like Bachelor, no,
not like F10 Island.
No. Oh, is that a shit? Is that right? Yeah. No. This is much nicer.
Okay.
However, Gia Song is so one of the things they're not allowed to do on the show on the island is to talk about how old they are and what they do as a profession, unless you get to go to the kind of like the getaway part. If you're picked for a date, and you go to quote unquote paradise because you're in Inferno, so you go to paradise, and it's just like a nice suite for you guys to spend the night. They have separate bedrooms for the men and women. They can choose to. They're not pressured to like sleep in the same bed or do anything other. And really, honestly, all they do when they go is order room service and take showers. Like that's what I would do too. If you're stuck on a deserted island and you have to make and cook your own food, I would order room service too. So Gia got, since the show aired, such severe backlash. Like I'm feeling bad for this girl. So her job, she is actually a beauty and brand like fashion influencer. She is huge on YouTube. She's been doing it for years. So I'm kind of surprised that some of the people didn't know her, but maybe there's tons of YouTube channels out there, so it's also probably easy to miss. But she was on the show, she wore some designer pieces that were unfortunately counterfeits of the brand clothing. Right. Which like to some people, it's like, what's the big deal? Right. But when you call yourself a fashion influencer, that can kind of come back and not look the best for your brand, I guess.
Right.
But the backlash got so bad, she released an apology on her YouTube channel. She wrote on her social media like a handwritten note or whatever it is that she's so sorry. But the backlash keeps coming, so much so I think her management dropped her. She's been completely edited out of an upcoming TV show episode that she was going to be on. And I just think sometimes it's really a little bit too severe, especially after she's like, I'm sorry that I did this.
Right.
It wasn't right of me to lie to you guys about this.
Right.
But I also think that the backlash is a bit over the top, if you will. If you will.
Yeah, this is her kind of tutorials here or a thumbnail from some of the stuff that she has done in the past. Yeah, really strong. I mean, like, it's so fascinating what each culture seems to have an issue with and seems to not have an issue with, right? This idea of wearing these kinds of clothes and what it radiates or what it shows, and then having to apologize. And she apparently took down all her socials and all this kind of stuff. Like, what an interesting reaction to this all, just for wearing.
They're criticizing her family now. They brought in I was like, this has nothing to do with her family. Like, her life is her life.
Right. Right.
But that's how it happens. Like in Korea, like when everybody has to like publicly apologize, and she has apologized. And like you said, she's took down all of her posts, all her videos that was making her all the money on YouTube.
Yeah.
She took them all down except for one, which is the latest apology video. So I just feel so bad. I hope that people can finally take the apology.
Yeah.
If you accept it, great. If you don't accept it, then just, then don't watch her content. You obviously don't like her. Don't watch her content. I don't know what else is there for her to do. And what I worry now is that the backlash is and the pressure of it all is going to get so severe for her that like she's not going to be in a good place mental health wise.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous place to be too. Like, I don't think she ever expected to be in a spotlight in this way. So for going on a dating show.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, you've got to, when this starts to happen, you have to try to stay ahead of the backlash, right? So as we said, she deleted all her posts except for the apology. Then she recorded an apology video as well, trying to get people back onto her side. But the thing is, and some people are saying it's a pretty silly controversy or whatever. But I don't know too in depth the pop culture of Korea in this way, or South Korea in this way, or you know, and what her responsibility is in this situation. And so she presented a lifestyle that was this high-end fashion, all this kind of stuff, but it's like, but you know, you have to kind of know that it's mostly fake. And then so when it gets found out, I'm surprised that the reaction is so strong. And they're claiming, I mean, according to Mi Young Jo, who was a marketing representative for NBC NBC America, you said that in the US people are much more open-minded, but I think Koreans are thinking she deceived us.
Yeah.
For me, I really don't care about this issue because it's her life. But this is the kind of situation that she finds herself in. And one person even wrote, she's a great example of what happens when a cheap person tries to act like they're more luxurious than they are. So this seems to be a big deal. Like, this is how it's done in the States. Like, people over emphasize how popular or how rich they are in order to get followers. And it seems like in other, it seems like in these countries, they see it as a I don't know, as a symbol of your character that you
like
do
if
that.
it's not truthful, you lied about it, and if it wasn't real, why did you put it? Yeah, like I get the culture, like I get where it's coming from, but at some point we gotta like let the girl, like, she's apologized, she's definitely faced the consequences of her actions. She went, you know, she did the thing, she made a mistake, she got found out, and she's dealing with it, and she's made apologies, and she's not getting gigs right now, she doesn't have any YouTube videos, but like, what, at this point I start to worry about, I get what she's done, it was bad, but I worry about her mental health. I really, really do at this point, because that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is a lot of pressure for sure.
And I say this because I saw what happened with Hana in Terrace House, which is a Japanese reality show, and she got a lot of backlash over like a fight that she had with one of her roommates on the show. And unfortunately, the backlash got so bad, she ended up committing suicide.
Yeah, that's tough.
Do you just like, so at some point we got to stop and just like, they apologize. We'll have to let their actions show that they've, you know, they're learning and they're changing, because we're humans and we make mistakes and changes can happen. It's not like she went and murdered people.
Right. She just wore off-brand clothes. Like, I know, it's weird.
Like, I get it's not the best light, but it's also like, let's calm down. That's all I gotta say. But this is also coming from, you know, me here living in the States, and I'm not, you know, immersed in that culture as well. So I'm guessing if I lived in South Korea, maybe I view the situation a little bit differently. So this is just my opinion coming from this side of the ocean.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to our next thing here. Oh, well, sorry, we've got a Streamlab from Justin Toner.
Justin, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. Definitely. Hi, John and Wendy. Totally agree on your thoughts about episode 5 of Boba Fett. Hope the focus goes back to Boba next week. Wendy, as a fellow critter, looking forward to watching Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon this weekend. Are you enjoying campaign 3 so far?
Let's talk about this, Rocha.
Okay.
And yes, I am so for campaign 3. So Critical Role is an existing tabletop role-playing show comprised of many, as they call themselves, nerdy-ass voice actors who play Dungeons and Dragons, and they're now into their 3rd campaign. The very first campaign they sat around this table when it was back on Geek and Sundry.
Oh yeah,
that was Vox Machina, and then the next one was their own studio, their own thing. They air it on Twitch. Is the Mighty Nine, and this one is, I don't know if they came up with a name for their group yet. I think it's just called campaign 3 for now, because I'm still also behind. I think I'm on episode 7. So I am enjoying it so far. They brought in a new cast, Robbie Darren, Robbie Darren. He voices Tuxedo Mask.
Okay.
And it's probably one of my favorite characters in this campaign. Like many people, it's immediate fan favorite. So I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm glad that the Streamlabs came in, because this leads us right into this Legend of Vox Machina series, which was started as a Kickstarter. And I don't know if you remember, Rocha, we actually had Matt Mercer come on Collider Live.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the email and I said to, I don't even know who, maybe I talked to Christian, maybe I talked to Mark Riley, and I was like, you get this man into the studio and you talk to him about his project, because I was already a fan. So he came in and I got to have a conversation with him after the interview. It was very, very nice. But the fans of Critical Role, we call them critters, we call ourselves critters.
Okay.
Kickstarted. So the goal was 750,000.
Right.
I think within maybe less than 24 hours, they raised like 1.2 million.
Wow.
Very quick. And they were only going to fund just one season,
right?
I believe. And because of the support that they got, they were able to do the 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. And Justin says, Robbie Damon is the name I was looking for. I don't know why I said Darren. At least I got the D part correct. Justin says, I contributed to the Kickstarter that made this animated series happen. So excited. So it's because of critters like Justin supported the show. Now we're able to get this fantastic animated series. So did you have a chance to check out at least one of the episodes on Prime Video?
Yeah, I saw the first episode. Look, I say this with all prerequisites. I am not a Dungeons and Dragons person. I did not like playing it when I was in high school. It wasn't my jam. And I had friends who played it, all those books, all the 9, which wasn't for me. But this is interesting and fun. And these characters are a lot more layered than you anticipated when you're watching. And yeah, some things are played for laughs. Some of the deaths are played for laughs, which is part of the whole thing of being a part of a campaign. But I like the overall vibe of this as a start. And the animation is pretty cool as well. So
yeah, it's Titmouse.
Yeah, it's Titmouse. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, remember, I think they delayed this for a little bit because people thought it was going to come out a certain time, and they wanted to really get it right. And so sometimes things are delayed for a reason, and you get the benefit of it when it finally comes out, because this looks like they spent the right amount of care and time on it. And shout out to Critical Role, man, because they just keep finding a way to knock it out of the park. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know if it's all of them getting in a room and hashing all this stuff out, but they seem to be able to hit the right beats at the right time and the right notes for people to enjoy every time they go to the next level. Every time they try a new project as a crew, there's something about that energy that seems to make it work out for them, which is a positive.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. It's not hard to think, but it's crazy to think that these same folks that are, a part of the core cast today started in, I believe, Matt's apartment.
Yeah.
And it was because they wanted to play a game together. And it was funny because it started with Liam O'Brien and Sam Rigo, who are already kind of BFFs at this point, and they had a podcast. And they said, for Liam's birthday, he said, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Let's find some people to play Dungeons and Dragons. And so they met Matt, and because they're all in the voiceover community, so how it's a small community, tight knit.
Yeah.
And so they all kind of got together and they played the campaign, and it was one of those so I had a lot of fun. You guys had a lot of fun. You want to play together again? And then it was born. And what's funny is that, yes, this is D&D based, but when they were playing at home, they were actually playing Pathfinder.
Oh,
which is similar, but the rules are tweaked a little bit. I don't know if it's first edition or second edition, but I find that just so cool. And now they like professional TRPG players getting paid the big bucks for it. Yeah. So, and they are in charge of their own, they run their own, Travis Willingham, who voices Grog in the show, is the CEO. Marisha Ray is, I think, the creative director, but they're all involved, you know, with their merch and everything. And I think that's incredible that they're able to stay friends and have a healthy work relationship.
Yeah. We interviewed Travis on our show when Yuri and I used to host that show, interviewing voiceover actors.
Yeah.
And this was right as Critical Role was kind of hitting its peak. And Travis was very kind to come on. And Travis has worked on, the creation of other shows, was working on that video game, that Star Wars video game that was going to come out as well, that ended up getting scrapped. So certainly he has a lot of experience constructing stuff from the inside out or from scratch and making sure it works or whatever. So a great mind to have on this for sure. And I'm sure everybody involved is has their opinions and their points of views and their approach to this factored into everything that you see here, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also props to the writers. They have some great writers that they
Mhm.
handpicked to be on the team. Mark Bernardin being one of them,
Yes.
Ashley Birch, Jennifer Muro. So, and tons of, voiceover talents
Yeah.
involved in this. So it's kind of, I mean, they know they're so connected within the industry that I feel like they can pick up the phone and be like, hey, you want to be a part of this? Loved it.
Oh,
And
I'm
I think
sure.
that's how they're able to retain
Yeah.
so much creative license over, because they hire these people who understood the direction they wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great point.
so I hope it's successful. I hope people who know nothing about Critical Role or D&D still give it a chance, because I don't think you need to know Critical Role or Dungeons and Dragon to watch it. That's not the base of the show, even though it is fantasy based.
Right.
If you're into Lord of the Rings, you can get into this. That's what I think.
There you go. All right. Well, let's move on. We're running out of time here, Wendy. What shall
Yes.
we jump to next?
I think the Jason Momoa news,
Yeah,
and then
let's do
maybe one more about He-Man, just really quick, because they apparently cast He-Man for the live action movie.
Yeah, let's do it.
But let's talk Jason Momoa, who looks like he is in talks to join Fast and Furious 10 as a potential villain.
Mhm.
And this was, let's see, the Hollywood Reporter has revealed that Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, is currently in talks to join the upcoming 10, which is like so surprising to me. I know that
Yeah.
he is obviously a very sought after actor, but never in my mind it came across my mind that he would be in a Fast and Furious film. But I
Yeah.
thought the same thing about Charlize when they announced her.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, who?" So this will be really interesting,
Right.
because he can either play the stereotypical, like, I am a bad guy, like,
Mhm.
maybe opposing team also have awesome cars, awesome drivers, resources. He's got his own family,
Right.
right? He could do that, or he could be one of those, like, I'm coming in, be my Jason Momoa self, getting in, being like BFFs with Vin Diesel, and then stab him in the back.
Right. I love
Different
this
kind of
idea.
villain.
I think this is fantastic for Momoa to come in and be a part of this. Look, if you can't get The Rock, go get Momoa. Why not? I mean,
The Rock's out.
yeah, The Rock's out. He's not coming back to do this Fast 10. He said it many, many times. So having him come in, we just saw Cena and the kind of villain he can play in Fast 9. Yeah, way either in or out, but either way, they're not shy about going to get some big dudes and having some fun with them. And certainly this is one of those things. So seeing Momoa kind of sliding in here, he's going to go toe to toe with Vin, and certainly he's gone toe to toe with Batista in that C show that is on Apple TV. So he's got no problem going to toe with big dudes and having some fun. As Big E likes to say in wrestling, it's large dudes slapping meat. That's basically what you're going to see here between these two guys. So I love this idea. It makes so much sense. And it's a great way to kind of take your mind off the fact that they couldn't get The Rock. You get someone like Momoa, who's I think Aquaman 2 is going to come out before this movie comes out. So the hype train will be high for Momoa. So it makes a lot of sense. And seeing him and Vin kicking each other's asses in a film would be fun to see for sure. So I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down too. Like, you put Jason Momoa in anything, I'll watch it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
I'll
agreed.
watch it. As long as he does the hair swishy thing.
Right.
I'll have a mighty man bun. And it'll be
Hot man.
glorious. All right, let me pull up this He-Man story before we get out of here.
Okay.
Live action. So it looks like, here it is from Deadline, Masters of the Universe live action Mattel movie heads to Netflix after being in development, and they have found their He-Man, and is going to be played by Kyle Allen, who I believe most recently we saw him in West Side Story.
Right.
So I think there was also, I was scrolling through Twitter, just
Mhm.
kind of looking, and I think he was actually in some sort of dance video, and he played He-Man in that dance video.
Wow.
Yeah, I am not,
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I saw, like, really
Okay.
quickly. So, I kind of forgot that we were gonna get a live action He-Man movie, because we got the animated, right? That's also on Netflix.
Right.
So I got confused when I hear Master of the Universe. I'm like, oh, okay, the Kevin Smith one.
Right.
It's like, well, no, this is completely different. A live action one. I always feel that He-Man might not be the easiest to do live action.
Okay.
But so I hope they are able to do it well. And are they going to have the actor play both Prince Adam and He-Man because they look different.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember this guy in West Side Story, and I saw the movie twice. So he must have clearly been one of the Jets. I just don't remember him that much in the movie because there were a lot of Jets who were standing out. I mean, Riff was really Mike Faist was so good as Riff.
He's
And
fantastic.
but this is him now. I mean, that's him there. So obviously he's one of the Jets. Certainly he was in the Officer Krupke scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's probably playing Prince Adam. And are they gonna augment him to play He-Man? That's the question. Kind of like what you get with Tatiana Maslany playing She-Hulk. We're getting her kind of getting a little bit bigger, but not. I don't know if they're going to go like to full on where she's another person, or they're going to add some CGI to her like they do with Ruffalo. I don't know. So would they do the same thing with him? Because I mean, that Kevin Smith He-Man is massive. So
yeah, but it's easy to do that because it's cartoon.
Right, exactly. This guy, you got to get on the Chris Hemsworth diet to be able to match what it looks like as He-Man. Yeah.
It does say the article he's going to play both.
Yes.
So
and it'll be live action. Mumra's asking with 50 bits. Thank you, Mumra, if it's going to be live action or not, and it is live action. So yeah.
It's live action. It's a Mattel film because I guess it is a Mattel property.
Right.
I was so caught off guard when I saw this on Twitter. I was like, wait, what? And I just can't get past. And I think everybody in West Side Story, by the way, was phenomenal. So I am happy for him. I'm genuinely so happy for him. I think he's going to kill it. And I think it's a great opportunity. But I just really wonder, and this part has nothing to do with the actor. This is really production and maybe visual effects or whatever direction they want to go. Is it just a simple costume change from Prince Adam to He-Man or what? Because like they make Adam just look so like you don't know unless you know. That He-Man is Prince Adam. And also I'm curious as to who else they're going to cast. She-Ra is going to be in this, or who's playing Skeletor. Cast Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
Well, I mean, he's already Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe Revelation show, and of course there's another one that was there's another one that's out now called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and that's a CG animated series. So this would be
that Yuri's a part of.
Yeah, the Yuri is a part of, exactly. And so there's a third one here. This is going to be a movie, a live action movie. Some people asking in the chat whether it's going to be a movie or a series. A live action movie here. So completely separate from Revelation and from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's a completely different approach. And the Nee brothers are directing this, who did The Lost City, which I haven't seen. And Shang-Chi writer David Callahan is going to be writing this as well. So some nice people, I think, Wendy, involved in this. So I'm down.
Look, you know what? I will have faith and I will reserve all judgment until I see it. One of the things that did stick out is that this has been in development at Sony for quite a while. And then now it's moving over to Netflix for summer starts. So, I always applaud Netflix for trying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they try and they offer so many people, the ability to have a job and work. So
true.
You know what? Let's see what happens. I hope it's all good. And congrats to the actor who booked the lead role. That's
absolutely
awesome.
Congrats to him. Good job. All right, let's get on out of here. Wendy, what's the last thing we want to talk about? What do you recommend? What are you reviewing? We'll do 60 seconds. Let's go. What do you got?
All right. If you haven't picked up the newest copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus, go and pick it up. Yes, the graphic for the open world is a little, I don't want to say lacking, but it's still so much fun. You get to walk around and you get to sneak up on a Pokemon, or they could attack you. It's the most different Pokemon game that I've played in a really long time. And I've played almost all of them. So do yourself a favor and pick it up. I think Walmart has it for like $40 something right now. So you can just price match. Go to a Best Buy and price match.
There you go. I would recommend the After Party that's on Apple TV Plus. I mentioned it earlier. It came out yesterday with it came out today with 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes, they are so good. The first episode's about 48 minutes, but then the next subsequent episodes are around 30, 35 minutes. So you can blaze through it in one night. And great work from all the actors involved so far, with Tiffany Haddish and Ben Schwartz. And you got oh my god, Alana Glazer. My mind is just so running with so many actors to remember. Now that I'm retired, I don't have to have them all necessarily right at my fingertips. So so many, Ike Barinholtz in this as well, Sam Richardson. So all of them having fantastic work here. So I can't recommend it enough. It's on Apple TV Plus. Watch the first 3 episodes. And then coming up, what we got, Moonfall and Jackass Forever come out next week.
Yeah. Have you seen Moonfall?
I have not seen it. It's the screening's next Wednesday.
Same for me. Same for me. But I don't know if I can go.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Disneyland for New Year's, for Chinese New Year.
Oh.
I was gonna do that as a treat for myself.
I feel like Moonfall's not gonna do that well for our channel. So I mean, I think throw that out there.
We'll see.
And then Death on the Nile next week, and then Jackass Forever on Monday is going to be a lot of fun to see that. Go visit. So there you go. Those are coming out next week. So put that on your calendar. All right, we got to get out of here. Wendy, love you. Great to see you again. Please tell people where they can find you and everything you got going on.
On Instagram and Twitter at Wendy Lee Zaney, over at the Movie Couple channel on YouTube, where we're doing all the reactions for the Critical Role, The Legend of Vox Machina. Episode 1 is out now, and I'm going to be editing episode 2 after I get out of here. And twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney, where I will be playing Pokemon Legends Arceus.
And you dropped a vlog with your Pokemon stuff, standing out in line.
Yeah.
Follow her
on Instagram.
Yeah, watch that on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram and TikTok. The Outlaw Nation, as you see here on Twitch. For those of you who are watching this later on YouTube, you can swing on back to Twitch and follow and subscribe to me there. If you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that bell button down below. Leave a comment, leave a like, share it on your social media. And don't forget, we got the Book of Boba Fett episode 5 spoiler review coming tomorrow from the Geek Buddies as well. And Strong Style, our pro wrestling show, new time, 9 a.m. PT. Going to preview the Royal Rumble that is happening tomorrow night as well on the show, which one of our guys, Chris Burns, is going to. So there you go. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. We love you madly. Thanks for watching the John and Wendy Show, and we'll see you next week for another fun show. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Bye, everybody.